if we think about what's actually going on there, so again, for the clock display, if we imagine our running JVM, it's a convenient box. Okay, if we have clock display, and I really dislike these long class names, so I'm going to cheat and just call it the CD for its instance name, and tell you shouldn't copy me when I come up with very short names for things. I think I could pass into ints, so 10 and 15. Okay, so, and it's not, we're not at 10:15 yet, which is a relief because then I would be way late. So we have our reference CD. Okay, so we can imagine there is a clock display, and we call this constructor. We're going to have a clock display class being created. Okay, so we have that being created. Okay, now we know this is of type clock display because we have that statement of code. But this also has two fields. Okay, so it has a field for the, I'm going to just write H for hours and M for minutes. Okay, and then these are also objects floating around, except both of these are number display type. Okay, and I think 10 and 15, they ultimately get their values. Okay. So this is what we can sort of see is that we wrote the line of code to create this particular instance here, but within that we can actually start to create lots of other instances as well that we have no way of referring to other than through the original reference. Okay, there's no reference that we can just call to get direct access to this. Okay, we have to do everything through the clock display, and because we made it private, we can't say clock display.hours, that doesn't work, or clock display.minutes, that doesn't work either. Okay, we have to use the methods to access these. And if, for sake of argument, if we suddenly then decided, okay, we're done with this clock display and we set it to become null, okay, then this is basically going to die, and it's going to rather point to just a null value instead. Okay, then essentially we have this object is kind of cut loose, and so are its other objects it's created. So once again, eventually they will be eaten up by the garbage collector, which will come along. Notice that they're no longer reachable by any references, and they will be cleaned up. But this is how we get slightly more complicated programs, is we have instances that start creating instances within them. We get this much more complicated model.